Good afternoon. Thanks for being here, and it's my privilege to remind everybody about the Santo Tomas copper deposit in northwest Mexico. We'll make the forward-looking statements. What does Santo Tomas represent? It is a large-scale PEA done and dusted copper project with low-cost capital relative to future production. And our CEO, Richard Locke, joined the company because he regards Santo Tomas as the most buildable large copper mining project in North America. And that's no small claim coming from Richard. He built the Diavik diamond mine on time, on budget. He's built gas plants for CNRL. He sank the last deep shaft in the US at Resolution Copper, again on time, on budget. So it's no small claim, and I think underpins the real value of the project. We recently funded the company as to $23 million thanks to Canaccord Genuity and a bought deal closing 10 days ago. And that was motivated essentially by the fact that we have a $1.5 billion NPV8 project based on a 2024 PEA. So 22 and a half years of mine life with plenty of upside in the resource, and 8.5 billion pounds of copper. Half of that is still sitting in as an inferred resource, and as a result of moving to PFS, there's more drilling to do to convert the 4 billion pounds of copper still sitting in inferred into an indicated resource, and that's what will underpin 2026's campaign of technical work on the project. The project is blessed by its location adjacent to critical infrastructure, a fundamental trade route underwritten by acts of Congress in both the US and Mexico that protects the La Entrada El Pacifico, which is the closest rail line link for Texas to the Pacific coast. So we're protected politically by our adjacency to that infrastructure. There's a high-pressure Trans-Canada natural gas line that is essentially transporting near zero-cost Permian Basin gas to Topolobampo, which is again underwriting a couple of multi-billion-dollar fertilizer and other investments at the port. And we have an underutilized port, Freeport, that is looking to expand to carry copper con. So we're in a remarkable situation with respect to infrastructure and readiness to go. We have spent $70 million Canadian on the project, putting in the infrastructure, the camps, doing the geophysics, and doing the PEA-ready work. And essentially, we're now primed with all the infrastructure in place, all our soft capital paid for, trucks, facilities, etc., to accelerate a PFS study. So what did the PEA give us? It gave us a $1.5 billion NPV project, 22.2% IRR, but that's based off, in the bottom right corner, $4 copper and other commodity prices that are substantially behind today's spot and the long-run price calls by the institutions. The project really works because the copper outcrops, and as it happens, we get to the high-grade materials early, 0.51% copper EQ in the first 7 years of operations. So getting payback sits right before us. There's zero strip in the first number of years of operation, and that's going to get us through payback, construction, and it is going to enable us to manage capital costs. So with Richard's experience, we're going to come in on the projected capital. The PFS will no doubt change the plan in some detail, but the likelihood that we're going to be a large capital project beyond the $1.1 billion that we currently have is low, and most comparable projects are in the multi-billion-dollar CapEx sphere. So we're well poised, I believe, with good cost projections for advancing one of the more exciting large-scale copper projects that is currently undeveloped. again, this profile, a little detail I know, but what it shows is mill feed from the PEA, and what you should cue in as the black line, which shows that we're getting the high grade early, and that's a geological endowment that really does discriminate this project from many others that need strip and pre-strip to get to ore. We're in Mexico. The critical issues that constantly arrive, obviously safety and security. I think a lot of that was covered very well for those of you that attended the Mexico panel this morning. But we have established our safety and security protocols. We've had no events. My wife and I relocated to Sinaloa through COVID. We lived adjacent to the project, had a wonderful time, and a couple of our shareholders I see sitting in the audience, Murray and Christina, visited us at the site and enjoyed the hospitality of Choiks. So we're a remarkably stable environment. 9% of the project participating with us are Choiks resident Mexican natives, and as a result, we're hyper-connected into the community. Open pit permitting's been an issue in Mexico of late. That all changed with the election of Ms. Sheinbaum. We've seen Silver Tiger recently receive full open pit permits, and the environment has completely changed for us, which I'll explain in a second. We also get questions around our location with respect to a river and a reservoir. We've designed in the PEA no impact on the reservoir, and we have full support of Conagua and Semarnat, the principal regulators for the environment related to water and the environment in Mexico. We were added to Plan Sinaloa and Plan Mexico, and these are the pet projects of the President of Mexico and the Governor of Sinaloa. These are principally comprised of plus billion-dollar investments in Mexico that the government wants to see go ahead. And Plan Mexico is a list of capital projects that has the President of Mexico's blessing for development. So this is a critical transformation with respect to where we stand in the universe of projects, both industrial and mining. So that was announced last May, and we've moved forward quickly now to plan for our PFS. So where does Santo Tomas sit in the constellation of undeveloped copper projects globally? We have a particularly good NPV over initial capex ratio. So if you can sort of seek out the Oroco logo, we're second from the top in one of the red balls. And that gives our ratio of NPV to capex, which is very competitive, and along the bottom axis, a pretty good IRR. And recall all of that at $4 copper. We're moving into work in 2026 to supplement the historical drilling done by ourselves and prior operators. And as you look at the left of the screen, you'll see sort of a thinner, less dense drilling environment. We're going in to infill that, to lift the resource category of that area to an indicated resource, and that is what will drive us forward towards the PFS. This is a similar view overlaid on the PEA pits, and as you can see in the South Pit area, the drilling density is less, and we need to get in and infill that. We are principal asset Santo Tomas, but we are in a district, and the Baharachi porphyry occurrence is to the north of Santo Tomas, and Oroco last year acquired the Vinea project, where we have indications of porphyries, copper, silver, and other mineralization intersected historically, and we're looking forward to basically developing what we have at the center into a district play, and we'll be doing a little bit of exploration work at Vinea this year. We closed today at 64 cents. That gives us a $200 million market cap. We're fully funded, and our recent bought deal substantially lifted our institutional participation in our share structure. This is the Gallery of Rogues, the board, and we're very, very privileged to add Faisal Rodriguez as a director recently. He's senior management at Torex Gold. a native of Choix, and having him join us and with his experience in permitting in Mexico for Torex is a major add. And in addition to him joining for all those benefits, he wrote a $1 million US check and did a partial financing with us in November to position himself in the company. So we're thrilled to have him on board. And I think the closing statement, there's every indication in the copper price that the world needs more of it, and we're looking forward to being part of solving that issue. Thanks very much.